Welcome to Palmer, Alaska. This is where we spent the last 6 nights at the Fox Run Inn. But before we get to that, I will get you up to speed. When we left off, we were in Wasilla, Alaska. We kind of limped in there with our wounded camper and looking for a place that could get it all fixed up. Now, on the information sheet for the Big Bear campground, they had an ad for cache campers, so we decided that is where we needed to be. We were up at 6 o'clock the next morning, and at 8:30 when they opened up, we were right there. Please help us. The very kind people did help us. 8 hours later, we were all fixed up. We had a bill for about $650 US, which was well worth it. We were good to go, and we happily paid that, and we're on our way. So hats off to cache campers. If you're ever in the area of Wasilla and you have work that needs to be done, giving them a shout out. Thank you very much. Now, after that, we were on the road looking for a place to stay. The July 4th weekend was upon us, and we know that it tends to get really, really busy at that time. So we kind of opted for a place that would have electricity to keep us nice and cool, because our dog Bob cannot handle anything over 80 degrees. So the first place we found, which was Fox Run, we kind of booked it and stayed there very gratefully. So here's a few shots. That was Maruk the dog. I did a little painting. We had some quality time with the dog, and that was our view. Very nice. And there's me and Bob. On we go. Now, interestingly enough, this campground had its own barbecue business. So one night we treated ourselves to some pulled pork, and that is the menu if you just want to take a look and see. So I'm just slowing this down for a moment, because who doesn't want to know what it's like to drive through Anchorage on a nice bright morning? So here we have our destination from Palmer to Cooper Landing. Okay, so I learned several things in the next few days at Fox Run, and the first is that we were having a heat wave, 80 degree plus temperatures every day, which we were not prepared for. I did not expect a heat surge in Alaska, and I feared for my poor dog Bob, because every now and again the circuit breakers would cut out and we were left without power, which left us very frustrated. Another thing I learned was that Alaska homes, as a rule, do not come with air conditioning. Imagine that, and who would have thought, of course. So the big story in the campground that week was that the local Walmart had run out of fans. That's right. Everybody was flocking out to find fans to keep them cool in this monstrosity of a heat wave. So in case you haven't seen any of our past episodes, we are driving a 2019 Jayco C-Class camper, and it has served us very well. We've owned it now at that point at 2 years. The only real difficulty that we had with it was as we were driving through the top of the World Highway entering Alaska, we learned we had lost our plumbing underneath the van, which meant our kitchen and bathroom were rendered useless. So that's what we had worked on. But as far as driving up and down these mountains, that camper was running like a dream. I cannot tell you the joy that I get from watching this. Kind of brings it all back. Look at those colors. So there was one thing that Frank was really looking forward to during this trip, and that was to be part of a charter and go out and do some deep sea fishing. And I thought this was a great idea, and I was very happy for him. And we were on the lookout for a little fishing business so that Frank could go out and catch some fish. So this is the part where Frank and I try to figure out where to spend the night. Now this looked very interesting, and we took the turn, started going down the lanes, and oddly enough, all the campsites seemed to be reserved. So we kept checking and checking, and I was looking around, and I could not see mountains. And I don't ask a lot, but when I'm in Alaska, I want to see mountains. Also, the bugs are very thick here. I'm not sure if it's this campground or another one, but I remember one quite distinctively where the black flies were bouncing off the windshields as if they were popcorn. No word of a lie. So here we have Frank scoping out the area, but it didn't seem to check out. Again, the bugs were very thick. So here we're coming in to the last couple moments of the trip, and we turn into a pullout, and it seems very busy basically with people coming in to fish. Now I'm going to slow down for a second because something really caught our eye. And if you can see it, there is a garbage bin, a big green one there. And we saw a sign there that we never saw before. And it said, "No fish guts." Okay, so we try to assimilate this. Okay, no fish guts. So there is fishing going on. There is a little kind of like a picnic table with an awning where I guess you can cut up your fish, but they make it very clear they do not want fish guts in the garbage. So we did not really care to park near the fish guts, so we looked across the street and there was another pullout, a lot quieter. So we decided to let this be our camp spot for the night. So with several mountains in view, I'm very content And I'd like to thank you on behalf of Frank and myself for joining us for this episode, and we invite you to join us again. Goodbye for now.